Super professional intro with no music so I don't get copyright struck. Struck. Yeah! Hello there, my name is Wimp and welcome to the refit video for the Open Cockpit Utility Hover Vehicle 05 HoverBuggy. I've already spawned it in, so we'll float over and take a look at this old vehicle. As with all of the Open Cockpit Utility Hover vehicles, they were all built before the release of the game, so they're all now getting updated. So what are my plans for this one? Well, first, I think I want to make it a 4-seat. And I think I'm probably going to have only 4 of these hover engines. I'm hoping that'll be enough. And I suspect what I'll do is I'll move the hover engine up to be there. And then this will be the very bottom of the vehicle. There'll be nothing underneath that other than docking pads and these hover boosters. But they'll all be on that block. And that'll probably mean I'll have to move the thrusters. But I think the thrusters are going to remain the same, is my plan. I'm going to have 2 mediums for forward and then 2 smalls in all the other directions. As for truss blocks, I'm not sure what I'm going to do, because I can't really do these shapes with carbon. So it might have to remain as truss blocks. Yes, I think so. Material wise, this is all steel. I think what I'm going to do is make this frame steel and the roof. Possibly the front, but keep the rest as plastic. Yes, that's my idea. Anything that's that thick or thicker will be carbon substrate. And these will probably be carbon substrate as well, unless I put something there, if it's not just blocks, but we'll see. Right, that is my plan. Oh yeah, these lights, I'm not sure what I'm going to do about them. I mean, we do have a block shape now, I think, where I can go from a square shape onto a top half of a 2x1 slope shape. So I might do that there. I might try and instead figure out a way. Maybe I'll put the lights behind this, perhaps. Yeah, I might do that instead. Right, well then, I'm going to get started and I'll bring you back in a bit. Right, I'm going to bring you along again, like I did in one of my earlier builds, with some blocks to see what devices I want. That wasn't proper English, but it'll do. Right, so I've taken this down onto the planet, the old original version, and it has 2 of the full-size generators. I took one of them out and it ran fine, didn't get anywhere near maximum power with just one, so I then took that out and put in a small generator. And again, it was nowhere near. So the new version is going to have just a small generator. This one has 3 fuel tanks, and I think I'm going to do the same with this. So that's that. It also has 2 fridges, and since it will carry 4 people, I'm hoping it'll carry 4 people, it'll probably need 2 fridges as well. I'm also planning to put on a O2 station and an armor locker, and probably 1 or 2 of these. We'll put 2 just in case. 2 oxygen tanks for that. Now, it is supposed to be used on a breathable atmosphere world, but that doesn't mean you can't take it to somewhere where it's not a breathable atmosphere. But other than that, it's not inhospitable, so it might be fine with radiation and fine for temperature as well. So I do want to put those on it for that reason. Now, the front two seats on the new version, I'm going to make both a driver's seat so that it can be driven either left or right hand drive. Okay, let's put these away and get some of the other stuff out. Do I need... yeah, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Actually, I'm going to leave one there so when I put them back they go in the same places. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I know how many of those I'm going to want. Maybe not necessarily the jump boosters, but no, and let's get those out. So this one has 4 small cargo boxes and an ammo box. Now that old ammo box, which I still have access to, is actually really high with CPU, although even this original is only 3000 of the 5000. But where small ammo box is 240, whereas a ammo... oh yeah, I was there. 15. 15 for one of those. That's a 1x1x1. 15 CPU. Although volume capacity is 125, so that might be different. Oh, so that's even less. But the yeah, the CPU of that one box is 240 compared to 15. So I think what I'll probably do is, I mean, the vehicle itself isn't armed, so I'll just swap that for another small cargo box. But I think maybe, I mean, I think 4 small cargo boxes would be fine. No, actually 5. If we give 1 per person, plus 1 for the vehicle, for carrying spares or something. So, there's our 5 small cargo boxes. I think in between the seats I'm going to use those flat ones again, but I don't know if all 4 will be. Then, of course, we have the 4 hover the hover engines. I think this one has 2, yeah, and I think I'm going to keep the same. 2 jump boosters. And I think I'm going to have 4 docking pads. Although they don't take much CPU or any power as far as I know. Then of course there will be 2 headlights, the 2 tail lights, which I'm just going to put there and there for now. Hello? Can you go straight, please? What are you doing? Yeah, whatever. Whatever, game. Whatever. Let's move that one there, just so I can find them both when I come to delete them. And then, the original also has 3 normal lights. It's got 1 on the inside, and 2 for lighting up the ground as you're disembarking the vehicle. So I think I'm probably going to do the same. 1, 2, and 3. That'll do. Then... it's the thrusters and stuff, I think. So, let's get the s'mores and the... oh yeah, and the other equipment. Chairs, detector, Wi-Fi. Obviously I've got the core for when I need to move the core on this apparatus. So, apparatus, English. 2 seats, 4 people. Detector, probably on the front, but I don't know. A Wi-Fi, and it's possible I'm going to need 2 RCSs, which is what this one has. I might do more if I need it. Right, so what are we on now? Really? Have I forgotten something? Oh yeah, the thrusters. Okay, so 2 mediums for forward. 1, 2, and then it will be 2 in all other directions. 1, 2, 1, 2. Those are the sideways, and then 1, 2 for the reverse. Now, what are we at? 2,300. How come... I mean, okay, I've got less hover engines. And I suppose it's possible I might need more on this. But there you go. That's what I want in the numbers I want them. So I'm going to start building and see what I can come up with. The shape will be roughly the same, but I'm thinking this shape is a bit too far forward, so I might try to bring it back a bit more. I'm not planning to leave the fuel there. I'm probably going to move them, but I don't know. And I'm thinking these two seats... Ooh. I was going to say I might move them forward by one block, but if I'm moving that back by one block, it might not work. And the back seats, how would you get in and out? I don't know. I mean, even in this one, it was just you access it through that gap, and then when you get out the seat, the game should put you here again. But I don't know whether I'll do something else, but we'll see. I think this shape I want to carry on, and then down into here, similar to how it does at the front. Aye, so there we go. That's that bit, and I'll start work now, I think. Right then, I've got this so far, and I'm sure you can see where I've deviated from the plan already. She's got a floor of extension blocks, I should say, sorry, with a container controller in the middle. The two fridges are in the same place, but I've put the O2 station there, so it'll be accessible here from the back. The oxygen tanks are weirdly in between the two rear thrusters. There is another one there. And even more weirdly, the fridges are on top of the thrusters too. But because I wanted to make this flatter and move these up, and have that being the bottom instead of coming down another block, I needed to obviously move the thrusters in, and the reverse ones as well. So yeah, but you know, needs must. Right, so that's what I've got so far, and along the underside we have the detector at the front, and I'm planning to put a block. Alright, it'll be protected actually by these, but I'm going to be putting kind of this shape once I get to it. One of these kinds of things where it's a wall on each side. Those will be in front of the thrusters. I'm probably going to do one in front of the detector as well, but because they're protected by this, I won't be able to put them in front of the thrusters, will I? Okay. Right, I might have to think about that. But there you go, that's what I've got so far. So it's time for the body work now. So I'll bring you back when I've got something to show you. See you in a bit. Okay, I've moved some stuff around. So the problem with putting the thrusters under the lights were that these truss blocks would get in the way, and I did think about just changing the shape of this stuff here, but I'm not sure it would look as good. I don't know. So I've moved them to here, and it will make a bit of a problem there because that thruster is here. But I think I can make it work with some block shaping in the middle. I moved the fuel tanks down, and I brought the small generator up. I'm going to have armour here, just so there's a bit of extra protection between whatever might be shooting you from the front, if you get shot at from the front, and your fuel tanks and your generator. That does make the generator quite close to the seats, but I'm pretty sure that won't affect people sat in these seats. It should be far enough away that you won't get hot from it. And I moved the thrusters at the back out to the outside as well, rather than being there. And then I added those triangle-shaped container extensions just to make up the container here up to 2000, because it was at 1800 something. So, yep, there we go. It's now time to start the body work. So I'll see you later on. Okay, I got this so far, and I almost don't want to put a roof on it. It kind of looks cool like that. I'm going to put a roof on it, but yeah, it looks okay like that, doesn't it? Doesn't it, farmer? I might see if I can reorder these a little bit. So that definitely needs to be... Yeah, no, I already tried that off camera. I put these thrusters here next to this bit, and then obviously that one was here as well. I mean, I've got the RCSs for yaw, but... Yeah, okay, right, anyway, I thought I'd bring you in and say it looks cool without a roof. Oh, do you know what? How am I going to do that? Oh, I'll figure it out. Righto then, I'll see you in a bit. Okie dokie then. I need a cup of tea. That is as good as I think I'm ever gonna get it. It's not brilliant. It's slightly better than the first one. So I ended up having to bring the hover engines down. It looked a bit too squat with them where they were. Like it's like you know, the main body was only 2 blocks, and then above that was, I mean, it's still only 2 blocks, but it looked like it should be less. But obviously I can't come into the space occupied by these pilot seats. You can come down a bit into these passenger seats actually, but it's not, you know, so, hang on, I had it, there you go. So you can come down into it a bit there and there. You just can't do it with the pilot seats, unfortunately, the cockpit seats. So this vehicle, in fact the original, was most definitely not at all in any way inspired by the Starfleet Argo ground vehicle at all, like even slightly. So this one is ever so slightly closer to the vehicle that it's absolutely definitely not based upon, but it's just the block shapes aren't there. You know, I would like things like yeah, that and that, but that go diagonally like that, you know. It's which would make that better. I could have those instead of the truss blocks, and I could use them here as well, but you know, never mind, they don't exist. So yeah, I've been trying. I mean, it's been a it's been a few hours now looking at the clock over there where I'm pointing, because you can see. Yeah, like I said, I need a cup of tea. It's getting on my nerves. That, you know, so I've gone back down to 2 hover boosters just because I wanted them to be 1 block away from each end, and of course it's 11 blocks long. So, and these are 2. Yeah, maths doesn't work on this. So meh. But again, like many of the other things, it's the best I can do with the block shapes. Righto then, I'll see you later once I've painted it. I was wrong. It's not time to paint, it's time to test drive. I have changed it a little bit since that last clip. I've changed the roof slightly. It no longer has the round blocks going all the way round it. Round, round, baby. Right, okay. Then I've done this on the bottom to hold the docking pads. It's only got 2. I'm hoping it won't fall over. I don't think it will, because I think it'll rest on the hover engines. Right, let's see how it handles. Okay. Yours pretty good. Yes. Whee! I did a bit of maths, by the way. These 4 hover engines can lift, oh, was it 81 or 82 tons? It was something around that, and its current weight is, statistics, 7.2. So it could possibly get away with only 3 of these. I mean, it could be a bike and only have 2, but it wouldn't be very stable. Yeah, okay. Oh yeah, I've added these little panels on the side. It's not quite the same as the other first run vehicles, but it's close enough, sort of. So this one was to cover most of that thruster, because it's going to be painted in the normal colour, this and that. And I didn't want that to be a whole square of that texture amongst the sea of white, although it doesn't look too bad in that dark grey, to be fair. I mean, the shape still isn't brilliant, but I think it is better than the original. Right, now it'll be time to paint it, so I will see you in a while. Whee! Rightio, it's painted. It has changed slightly as well. I changed the back end a little bit and made this a complete slope rather than changing from a 2x1 into a 1x1 here. I sort of think it looks a bit better, and it looks a bit closer to its inspiration as well, the Starfleet Argo ground vehicle. I've also used a bit more black on the underside, but it's only on the devices, so those hover engines and the docking pads and these hover boosters. Anything else changed? I think that shape has changed slightly, as I think that bit has. It's actually been a couple of days since the last clip. I don't turn my computer on a Sunday, and the last clip was on a Saturday. So it now being Monday, I can't remember exactly what I showed you, but yes. So the chairs at the back here do slightly clip through these windows. I was thinking it would actually be these truss blocks, but not only would that make it worse because the truss blocks are bigger than those window panes, but I kind of don't want anyone sat in these seats to get, air quotes, wet when it rains. So, and as you can see, there actually is, no, wrong way round. Down please. There is actually headroom because we don't sit with our head at the same height as the headrest. The chairs are slightly out of proportion, out of scale with our player model, but it's fine, I don't care, but it does mean that our heads aren't going through the windows here, even if the back of the seat does. Yeah, and I'm okay with it. It's a small price to pay, I think, for making it look a bit better. And I do think it not only looks better to how it was in the last clip, where this was a diagonal all the way down to there, and then this, as I said, was a different shape. I think that improves it. So I think, yeah, small price to pay. Aye, so there's not much left to do now, I think. So it's just the, as usual, the device grouping and the signal logic and any shortcut signals and, no, custom signals and custom shortcuts. There we go. Aye, but I'm quite pleased with it. I'm a bit disappointed that you can't really, I mean, the lights do work through those truss blocks. If I go into third person cam, you can see those headlights are definitely lighting me up, but it's a shame it doesn't light up through the truss blocks. But then the original was that shape as well. I was thinking as well that I would maybe actually have this as a slope, a triangle shaped slope, have the headlights as the triangle, and maybe move that detector somewhere. I've got a different shape. Hang on, let me get some blocks out. I know that, can I find in here? Yes. I know that I could do that shape in place of that block, and then have all the way along the front of the vehicle that slope. The only thing is, and it's not a big deal, no, actually there's two things. I just thought of the other reason why I didn't do it. So the first one is that these truss blocks connect to the headlights in order to look like the bumper is connected. I know there's a slight connection point down here. Oh, do you know what? I think I might replace that in a minute to the normal shape. I know what I mean. One of those. I'll do that in a minute. But yeah, so not only would I need to do something here, and I wasn't quite sure what, but I was thinking it would move to the middle. Yeah, I just don't think it would work, because either way you'd end up with a flat shape on top if you were to use, you know, other blocks that look like it connects to these but on top of the slopes. You'd still have a flat shape there. And of course this, the new shape I've just done with this roof bit, would now be hovering, so it would go back to the same shape it was. And yeah, considering I prefer this shape, that wasn't a good idea either. Right, there we go then. So I shall bring you back once I've finished, and that'll be the last update, I expect. Yeah, I'm really happy with this. It's definitely better than that one. It's actually the same size, is it? Counting with WIMP. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and then 11. I'm pretty sure it is. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, this episode of Sesame Street was brought to you by the letter WIMP. So, same size, it just looks different, better, bigger. Yeah, I don't know. But there we go. I mean, there was a shape I would have preferred to use here, but actually I don't mind the shape that this looks. Oh, has that changed since the last clip? I think it might have. So on the last clip, I'm pretty sure this block here was a half of a block. It would have been, hang on, it would have been one of those on its side, and then this one, which is one of those on its side, was a full-size block, and then the full blocks went all the way up and then over the roof. Whereas when I do this kind of shape, it gives people getting in and out the back a bit more room. Right, there we go then. So I'll be back in a bit with the end product. Oh, I also forgot to mention that the bottom now has 4 docking pads. I was a bit worried that it would topple sideways slightly with just having 2 down the centre line. So yeah, I just copied and pasted that shape to the next block over, but on both sides. Yeah, you can see. You have eyes, probably. Oh god, I hope someone blind isn't watching this. Oh god, I knew. As I started to say it, I knew what was coming. What a dumbass. If you're blind, you're not going to be watching it, are you? I apologise to anyone blind. I am a dumbass. I have been saying it throughout. I am a dumbass. Right, anyway, so yeah, addendum, I did that for the docking pads. Right, see you in the last bit then, when I've done all the signals and the device grouping. Okie dokie, she's all finished. So all of the block grouping and stuff is done. Device grouping, I should say. Everything's named. Nothing is ungrouped. All of the signal logic. Oh, I've made a couple of changes. The first is I put these lights on sensors. So I've put a bit of a lumpy bump on the bottom to hold the sensors, but these now come on and off as you move within the sensor ranges. The interior light is also controlled by that lever. Now those 2 sensors and that lever are turned off when the power save is turned on. So if I do that, that now won't work, and nor will those. But there are some custom signals, so you can still use them if you need to. Another thing is I've slightly repainted this area. So this was this and this was white, and the side of that was black, or the dark grey, whichever one. And I was looking at the shaping. Maybe that should be grey as well, but it sort of looks like the white goes up diagonally here and then across to the back, and it looked weird that it wasn't doing it at the front as well, up diagonally and across to the front. And it's just there was lots of white down here, whereas at the back there wasn't. So I sort of balanced it out. Not sure if that should be grey as well. Should we try it on camera? I don't normally do this sort of thing on camera, but let's give it a try. So that bit, and that bit, as well as that bit, all grey. What do we think of that? No, not sure I like it as that dark grey. Oh, and also I've added these little, they sort of match this hover bike, the, what are they called, symbols? Symbol? Yeah, symbol. The hazard lines. So, other than changing that back to white, because I think I prefer it as the white. Hang on. Give me my colours back. Maybe that should be the light grey. Yeah, I think I'll keep it as the light grey. Alright, well, there we go. Yeah, I'll resave that now. Right, so next then, I'm going to go do the tour video. If you haven't yet watched that, please go do so. If of course you have, and you've come here second, are you Marty McFly? Because you just did some time travel, son. Yes, right. Thank you very much for taking an interest in the HoverBuggy. I hope you enjoy using it. It certainly looks better than the original. I mean, apart from the missing block. I removed those for some reason. I can't remember why now, because it was a few days ago. But I'd certainly prefer the new one over the old one. But hopefully you do too. Right, thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you in another video, either for this build or for a different build. And goodbye. Super professional outro! Just to give you time really to remove this video from your watch later list or something.